a little uncomfortable. And welcome to the City Planning Commission meeting, March 24th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Davies.
Here.
McCune.
Here.
Matthews. Here. Bain.
Here.
Fudge.
Here.
Jett.
Here.
Forbes. Whirl.
Here.
And Van Velzen.
Yep.
Quorum is present.
Current copy of the Open Meetings Act of the State of Nebraska is posted on the wall in that frame back there. You're free to refer to it at any time. Item number 2, approval of the minutes from February 24th, 2026. I trust you've read them intently.
I move we approve.
Second.
Motion by Van Velzen, seconded by Whirl to approve as presented. Any other discussion on that matter? If not, Michelle, please. And the minutes are approved. Item number 3, discuss and consider action on an application by Charles Roberts and Richard Housman for Roberts Subdivision located at 2401 Rodeo Road in an R3 dwelling district on property located or described as Lot 1, Oberings Replat, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, and you should have all received a copy of the review comments. Attached to that was a location map and then a preliminary and final subdivision splitting the lots. The subdivision will split one lot into 2 lots. The lots have access to city utilities. Petitions for paving have been filed with the City of North Platte. And Northwestern Energy does not currently have any gas services for those lots. They wanted the applicant to know that. There is a gas main on the east side of Buffalo Bill Avenue and on the north side of West 13th in case they do want to access that. The applicants are here in the audience. If you have any questions, I can answer them also if you have anything.
Any discussion on this one? I know Kathleen, you've got to abstain on this.
Yes.
Okay. Michelle, Kathleen will be abstaining.
Nobody here for the public hearing?
There's no public.
No public hearing.
No, the only one.
Okay.
We got a whole bunch of them, Glenn. Don't give me any more.
So this, okay, so this is it's a residential, but it really is on commercial. I mean,
R3,
ideally it would be,
Right. And I do
Commercial,
think
really.
the applicants have the intent of coming in and rezoning it at a later date, but they wanted to get the subdivision completed, which is allowed in a residential to split this property.
so, kind of beyond this, but, so then if it's been residential and a house has been there, but then you have a highway that then is filled in with more commercial as we've grown as a community. Yeah, what does that look like then? You know, does the city ever change that? But I mean, it just kind of depends what the purchasers want to do with that property.
So it's funny you should ask. We're going through a whole entire comp plan, rezoning, all that kind of stuff. We can change it here shortly, probably in the next couple of months. You guys will be seeing a whole new zone change and zoning map. So we can look at those things on that map and we can change them. But typically, we don't force zone change unless there's something that we majorly need to do. So we allow whoever the property owner is to come in and request it at some times. Now, we don't try to allow like really crazy requests, like putting an industrial right smack dab in the middle of the center of somewhere. But, you know,
Okay.
we do entertain their ideas of rezoning.
Yes, okay.
We don't know how, I mean, I wish we had a crystal ball so we knew how everything was going
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
develop,
If
but
you
we
could
don't.
have that for your job, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you'd like to review all the planned zoning changes, I can provide you with a 280-page copy of it. When you're having trouble sleeping some night, you can pull that out and refer to it.
Think if anybody had that crystal ball, we probably would not be sitting here either.
Fair.
Yeah.
Good point. I'd be out of my
I would-
volunteer gig.
I would like, yeah, I just wouldn't be here. Somebody else would.
No, I mean, I think it seems like what they're asking for makes sense. I mean, that's not the issue at the table as far as commercial or residential, but I thought, oh, that's interesting. What do you do?
And it is super large the way it is as is, so it's not gonna hurt anything to split it in 2.
Yeah.
So I see Cody Avenue drawn in there. Are they planning to construct Cody Avenue?
And funny you should ask that question. So they actually stopped into my office to ask me about Cody Avenue. Cody Avenue is a dedicated street, but if you drive out there, you would not know that there's a street that runs through there. So,
Currently a billboard right there.
yeah, they possibly will be asking to vacate that street.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number SU26-003 preliminary and final approval of Roberts Subdivision.
Motion by Jet, seconded by Davies to approve or recommend approval. Any discussion on that? Not, Michelle, please. And the motion is passed. So everything here will go to the council meeting on April 7th,
I
correct? Okay. Item number 4 is a public hearing, file number CU26-004, discuss and consider action on application by the Wild West Arena Foundation for a conditional use permit to allow construction of a new beverage service facility on an A1 transitional agricultural district located at 2801 Charlie Evans on property described as part of lots 16 and 17 Cody Land and Cattle Subdivision, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, and with this, you should have a copy of the review comments. You should have all gotten a letter from the applicant, and attached to that is a location map and a design of what the building is going to look like on site. As stated, the applicant is requesting to build a beverage service facility at Wild West Arena. The proposed beverage service facility is intended to provide a permanent, code-compliant structure designed specifically to support beverage distribution during events held at the arena. The facility will replace and consolidate several temporary service areas currently utilized during large events. The temporary setups often require additional equipment, utility connections, and operational adjustments that can create congestion and inefficiencies within the event grounds. The proposed facility will be located within the existing Wild West Arena event complex and is consistent with the current use of the property as an event and entertainment venue. The project does not expand the footprint of the venue's overall use, but instead improves the functionality and safety of the existing operations. Planning staff has no objections to the conditional use application. The area is an event venue, and replacing temporary structures with permanent structures makes sense, does not create a larger footprint, and the project should not be a detriment to the surrounding property owners. There is an applicant in the audience if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will be happy to answer any that I can also.
Okay, this is a public hearing. There are several tonight, as I referenced earlier, so I'm only going to read this once. Planning Commission values your input and wants to hear from the audience during public hearings. Anybody wishing to speak must first be recognized by the chair. Once recognized, please approach the podium, state your name and address. Please keep your comments as brief as possible. Repetitive and excessively long testimony may be ended at the discretion of the chair. Everybody got that? And with that, the public hearing is open. Anybody wish to speak on this one? Going once. Going twice.
Make a motion, we close public hearing.
Motion by Bain, seconded by Davies, to close the public hearing and a discussion on that motion. If not, Michelle, please. And the public hearing is now closed. We'll talk about this up here. Any questions on this?
David, since you'd asked, I wanted to look real quick. So, everybody obviously is aware of David's association with Nebraska Land Days.
What?
Emily's husband is on the board of Nebraska Land Days. I serve on the board of the Wild West Arena Foundation. So, we have a few, what I would say, potential conflicts, but I took a look at the statutes here just real quick. And as a member of the Planning Commission, it's my opinion that your association with the organization that is in front of you right now by state statute doesn't present a potential conflict of interest. So you guys are still able to vote today. So I just wanted to clarify that real quick.
Fair enough.
I was worried about that.
It came up, so I thought I'd address it.
You know, the thing about that place is once you've been there for a while, it kind of still hits you there. So just, yeah. Anyway, any comments, questions on this? This is something they've done out there a number of times in the past 15 years.
Build a permanent building? You mean?
Improve a vending area.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of different things, and since it's zoned ag, it has to come in front of you guys as a conditional use, because that's what the agricultural regulations stipulate.
As long as it'll help serve cold beer faster.
Well, and truth be told, one of the things in the rather large volume of zoning changes we're looking at is an additional zone, which is called a special event district, where basically this area would fall, like the fairgrounds would fall, Scouts Rest would fall, the Historical Society, those sorts of places, so that these guys don't have to come in here every time they want to improve the facility and ask for permission.
I was kind of wondering that because it is within the facility.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I was curious about
Yeah.
the whole
I applied for
process.
4 or 5 of these permits in my career out there, and it's kind of silly actually,
Right.
but it is the only zoning
Right.
that we have for it at this
Right.
particular time. So anyway,
So, good.
Go.
I move that we find the request for the conditional use permit to allow construction of the new beverage service facility located at 2801 Charlie Evans Drive meets the minimum standards stated in the North Platte Code of Ordinances, section 156.322, and approve and grant the conditional use permit requested with the condition that all elements of the application be complied with, and with the following conditions, based on the following factual findings. The use shall conform to all applicable ordinances, laws, and regulations of the governmental jurisdiction. The use shall have adequate water, sewer, and drainage facilities. Ingress and egress shall be so designed as to minimize traffic congestion in public areas, public streets. The use shall, in all other aspects, conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. The use shall be in harmony with the character of the area and the most appropriate use of land.
Second.
got a race to that one. Motion by Davy, seconded by Jet to recommend approval. Just one discussion matter. I did call the group because generally speaking, when we built something, that there would have been a requirement that there would have been a hand washing station and adequate drainage. This didn't have that. They called the health inspector. They have a temporary solution for that because this is used so little throughout the course of the year. They were fine with that. So adequate in this way means they're good with it. So, but I did get that clarified. Any other discussion? Not, Michelle, please. And the motion passes. This also goes to council April 7th. Good luck
That's
with your
correct.
project. You have something coming up, right? Where this has got to be done? Yeah. Good luck. Okey doke. For purposes of items number 5 and 6, which are really the same matters, we're going to hold the public hearing jointly. So I'm going to read both items in, and then we'll conduct the public hearing. So item number 5 is file number AM 26-001, discussion, consider action on an application by Zane and Sarah Grandel for an amendment to the North Platte, City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2012 land use map to amend certain land from agricultural vacant to residential low-density, single-family on property located at 492 West North River Road and described as Lot 1, Giesenhagen, First Subdivision, Lincoln County, Nebraska. That's the first time I'd seen that one. Then item number 6, file number Z26-001, discuss and consider action on application by Zane and Sarah Grandel to rezone certain land from A1 a transitional ag to RL suburban dwelling district on property located at 492 West North River Road and described as Lot 1, Giesenhagen, First Subdivision, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, and for both items, you should have received a copy of the review comments. Attached to the amendment, which is item number 5, is a copy of the North Platte future land use map with an indication of the area of the property to be amended. In order to rezone a property, it is the duty of the Planning Commission to ensure that the rezoning is in conformance with the current comprehensive plan. So this request for the amendment has been submitted in conjunction with the rezoning, and the applicants are requesting the amendment to allow the change in zone. Planning staff has no objections to the amendment. The property is currently being used as a residential site, and the property owner would like to subdivide the property to construct a new residential site. Amending the land use to allow the property to be rezoned to residential makes sense to meet the current use of the property. If the land use is amended, the property is rezoned, the applicant needs to be aware that the southwest portion of the property is in a floodway and no new structures can be built within that floodway. Again, with the rezoning, there is a justification attached along with a location map and a zoning map and a zoning ordinance that would be moved on to city council. The planning staff has no objections to the rezoning if the amendment has been approved. And the property is in an area with a mixture of agricultural and residential properties. 2 residential sites in this area will not be a detriment to the surrounding properties and is a better fit for the area. And again, the applicant needs to be aware that the southwest portion of the property is in the floodway. I don't see the applicants here, but I will be happy to answer any questions if needed.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody we're going to open that. Remember the rules I read earlier because I don't want to have to read them again. Anybody want to talk on this one? Going once, going twice.
Make the motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by Davies. Close the public hearing. Any discussion on that motion?
It was by me.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
I'm sitting next to him,
Yeah.
but it was by me.
And I did.
I didn't even, I didn't even,
Did you say it?
I
I was
didn't,
right behind you. It was almost
I didn't even
simultaneously.
hear you.
But
I'm sitting right beside you.
I
didn't
stopped
hear
about halfway through my work.
Okay.
I
half
thought
an
I
hour.
heard you and never mind. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Motion by Bain, seconded by McEwen to close the public hearing. Any discussion on that motion? If not, Michelle, please, now that we've had our giggle. And the public hearing is now closed. Discussion amongst ourselves.
I'm a little bit confused. On the Z26,
Okay.
there's STTE over here, south or west side.
STTE.
Is that what they're rezoning, or is it,
The site where it has the little red line through it,
yeah,
says SITE. Yep, that's the area
It
they're gonna
does actually
rezone.
say STTE.
Well, it should say I.
well, that's what, that makes
We'll
more
we'll
sense.
draw the little thing on the bottom of it. Now
Draw
it says
draw the little line on the bottom.
Put the
It
foot on
should
the
say
I, and
site.
that
Yeah.
makes more sense. Okay, there we go, site. So that's where the new house is going, is over there south of the
That is
North
correct.
River Road?
That is correct.
Okay,
and there's one already in that other little chunk right there,
To
correct?
the west
That is
end.
correct, yes.
Yeah.
So they're basically gonna divide, build a new one and probably sell the old one.
That is what I was told, yes.
okay, so this is the division of those two. Okay, and what's the other one? How is it connected?
Comprehensive plan, so it's a land use map, that green one that you're looking at. So in that land use map, it shows the green area as agricultural. In our old comprehensive plan, well, the one that's still, I guess, still current, but our comprehensive plan shows that as an agricultural property. So the only way that you can rezone a property to residential is if it is in conformance with the land use map. So we would have to amend the land use in order to allow them to rezone.
And that's AM?
That is AM.
Usually, the way we used to say it is you couldn't consider the second without approving the first. I don't know that that's true because the council has the final say on this, but generally speaking, one has to go with the other.
And it's kind of like the suburban areas are stretching a little bit out into the rural areas, so we're gonna see more of this, I believe, in the future with the land use map. We're gonna have to expand out some more RL areas.
Agreed.
What's the difference between floodway and floodplain?
Floodway is actually that, okay, so our zoning floodway matches the FEMA to as close as possible, matches the FEMA floodplain map.
Okay.
So where that floodway is, that essentially says that you absolutely cannot build in that, anything in that area because it's actually the river, basically.
of.
And the flow of the river. So, and they're fully aware that they would have to build on the north side of that property. Because there's no way to even build it up out of a floodway.
Stilts?
Not if it's in the floodway.
No.
Right. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
then you're dealing with the Corps of Engineers and everything.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay, any more discussion on this? Questions?
Is this all deeded or is there accretions involved?
There are probably accretions involved.
Cause is that red squiggly line there the meander line or the?
That red
floodway.
squiggly line is the floodway, I believe.
Okay,
Let me look at it again.
which is not necessarily the,
That is the floodway line. Yep.
at this time, they're only asking for the site to be, rezoned.
Yes.
Does that include the little farthest north and west part? That's not part of the site?
No, because they do not own that.
Oh, I see, okay.
The entire site that's highlighted is with the existing house on it though, correct?
Yes. Yes.
That's what I thought.
Why on the land use map do we have, oh, those are commercial, a couple of commercial places on the existing, or no, it says future.
Commercial,
there's- 2 or 3 red spots.
yep, there's a red one that's commercial, there's an orange one that is a multifamily, like a higher density residential, and then the yellow, which is a lower density residential. So yeah, it's kind of a mixture out there in that area.
And there's other houses along the south side of that road.
And the only reason this one really has to be rezoned is because in ag district, we only allow 10 acres. So once they're splitting this, it's going to be less than 10 acres.
Oh.
So they have to rezone in order to do it. It can't remain ag. They would have preferred to have allowed it to remain ag, but they
They
can't.
don't own enough land.
They don't own enough land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I move to make a recommendation to approve file number AM 26-001, an amendment to the City of North Platte future land use map amending certain land from agricultural vacant to residential low density, single family on property located at 492 West North River Road.
Second.
Motion by Van Velsen, seconded by Jet. Thank you, Mr. Davies. Any more discussion on the matter? Not, Michelle, please.
Now that I'm on the minute, somebody else can make.
When you have to. you have
I
to-
thought I did.
Well,
Davies abstained.
yes,
He left.
he had to leave. And the motion passes. So then on item number 6,
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number Z26-001 to rezone certain land from an A1 transitional agricultural district to an RL suburban dwelling district on property located at 492 West North River Road.
Second.
motion by Matthew, seconded by McEwen. Got that one right. To make a recommendation to approve. Any more discussion on this one? Not, Michelle, please. And the motion is approved. Okey doke. The next items are items number 7, 8, and 9 are all related, so we're going to hold one public hearing for all 3 items. So I'm going to read all 3 in. Item number 7, file number AM 26-002, discuss and consider action on an application by Antonio Gonzalez for an amendment to the City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2012 land use map to amend certain land from residential medium density to, and multifamily to commercial on property located at 2200 East Second Street and described as a tract of land in Lot 64, Platte View Subdivision, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Item number 8, file number Z26-002, discuss and consider action on an application by Antonio Gonzalez to rezone certain land from an R3 dwelling district to a B2 highway commercial district on property located at 2200 East Second Street and describes a tract of land in Lot 64, Platte View Subdivision, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. And item number 9, file number CU 26-002, discuss and consider action on an application by Antonio Gonzalez for a conditional use permit to allow construction of a contractor's office with storage in a B2 highway commercial district on property located at 2200 East Second Street and described as a tract of land in Lot 64, Platte View Subdivision, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, and again, you should have received a copy of all the review comments. Attached to the first one, which is the amendment, is a copy of the North Platte future land use map with the area for the proposed amendment highlighted. And again, in order to rezone the property, it's the duty of the Planning Commission to ensure the rezoning is in conformance with the current comprehensive plan. For this request for amendment has been submitted in conjunction with the rezoning, and the applicants are requesting the amendment to allow the change in zoning. On the second one, which is the zoning Z26, you'll see attached to that the zoning map that shows the different zoning areas around this property, and then a closer map with along with the ordinance. And planning staff has no objections to the rezoning if the amendment has been approved. The property is located in an area with a mixture of high-density residential and commercial properties with an RV and mobile home park on the north, a farm site on the west, and a group home to the east. Having a commercial area should not be a detriment to the surrounding properties. And then with the conditional use, again, you will see a justification from the property owners and then a couple of location maps where I did spell site correctly on that one for you.
Perfect.
Planning staff has no objections to the conditional use application. This area, again, has a mixture of different zoning and uses. It seems the area is more conducive to commercial uses surrounded by high-density residential. Using the property for a contractor's office with storage would not seem to be a detriment to the surrounding properties, as long as the property is well maintained. I do want to let you know that you should have all received a letter that was provided to me today that, I set around the table for you from a neighboring property owner.
Okie doke.
The applicants are in the audience, so if you have any questions, they are here.
All right. Remember the rules. Much as possible. Brief and to the point. With that, the public hearing is open. Come on up. Name and address, please.
My name is Shirley Blackwell, and I'm a resident at 2215 Burlington Boulevard, and I strongly oppose this because of the traffic, the noise, and, consider changing it from residential to commercial, actually highway commercial. To me, that's traffic and noise. And I've enjoyed living there because it is quiet and safe. And it is a residential area. For me, it's a residential area. So I strongly oppose it.
Any questions? Thank you. Anybody else wish to testify on this one? Come on up. Name and address, sir.
Wood 2010 West 6th. Just want to speak briefly to the conduct of Double D Enterprises and their associated business. I've done business with them for a bit of time now, and they have been nothing but above reproach. They conduct themselves in a very professional manner. So I have no doubt that if this variance is granted, that they will not only be good custodians and stewards of the area, but they will also propagate economic growth because they are growing. They'll hire new people, which is conducive to more taxes and capital. You know how that works. That's what we're promoting here in Lincoln County, North Platte, and I think that would be a construct of that growth.
Thank you, sir. Any question for Mr. Wood? Anybody else want to talk on this one? Going once. Going twice.
Make a motion, we close public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by Jet to close the public hearing. The microphone not on. Doggone it. Any discussion on the motion to close the public hearing? Not Michelle, please. And the public hearing is now closed. We're going to talk on this one up here now, okay? Amongst ourselves. So you have three things. Again, like the last one, you've got a land use map change, and then a request to change the zoning, and then a conditional use permit right behind that. So these things kind of all are related here.
I have a question. I noticed on the conditional use permit, there's a portion of this that says living area. Is that going to be an actual residence, or is that the office, or? No?
It is going to be the office if they get the conditional use approved.
Okay. So I was gonna say,
So it's not living area? Residential use?
No, because, so when they put this application in, they had proposed to put a building up. We said you can't do it because it's residential. So you would have to do a residential building.
sure.
And so that's when they first proposed that, was a living area. So a barn dominium type
Barn-dominium.
thing. So their intent is to be commercial, so it's better for them to go through this process instead of doing the barn dominium type to begin with. But could have they done it that way? Yes.
I wondered, okay.
So even if this got turned down, they could still put one up.
They could put up a residential structure.
Gotcha.
So, yes.
Is Johnson Street, which kind of is like an alley, does it continue on? Is there alley there?
Yeah, there's an alley
Johnson
behind
Street
it
does-
between Burlington and Second.
Is-
Goes all the way down to Johnson Street.
It says it's the
Yeah.
street, yeah.
Wasn't sure, because I know that Johnson Street looks like an alley.
Yeah.
Right, right. It goes straight through and,
Yeah, right.
and for some reason it's dotted on this map, not like the alley on the other side between Cooper and.
Yeah, that's
Johnson,
what
yeah.
that's what
It
I-
does, it's not a full, it doesn't go all the way through. That Johnson Street does not go all the way
No.
through. I know
But the
individuals
alley-
access it
the
as a
alley's
road.
more and
Yeah.
more like an easement on, behind the lots on Burlington,
Right.
than an actual alley.
Right.
That's on this one map.
This would basically be across, oh no, wait a minute, I'm looking at that wrong. No, not either.
It's right west of the boys and girls home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the boys and girls home is in a residential area?
It is, but it's highlighted blue on the land use map, which is a public, quasi-public. And right to the north, you have a mobile home park. And then to the north, east of that, you have commercial. And to the east of all of this, by about 2 blocks, you have industrial across the street from
What is the zoning,
Bicentennial.
what is the zoning west of the mobile home park on Second?
Or sorry,
West is R3.
Okay.
There have been several individuals in to look at that large lot that's west of the mobile home park to do commercial. They just haven't came forward with it yet.
Right behind Weaver's place there.
We're talking the current mobile home park, or are we talking west of the proposed?
West of the current one,
The current one with the
across the street from this.
right here.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking on my Google
Is there
Maps to
another
make sure I properly oriented
Business
here.
zoning other than highway? This is literally not
To
on a
do
highway
a
commercial, not
contractor-
on a,
Yeah, to do a contractor's office. Well, let's see, B2, so yeah, you could do B3.
But that's less
That-
restrictive than B2, right?
Yeah, because it goes B1, B2, B3, they all compile onto each other.
Right.
Plus with a B3, you can build essentially lot line to lot line,
Right.
with no setbacks, which I'm not sure you want to do that in that area.
No.
A
Well, the
B1
highway commercial is more restrictive on setbacks
than a B3, yes.
and a B2.
Yeah, and you can't go B1 because if you went B1, it wouldn't allow for a contractor's office. Now, remember, it is conditional use too, so you can put conditions on the project.
Didn't see a fence around the property on the,
Not on their drawing, no.
right?
Got thrown off by living area.
Oops, I'm on the wrong page.
So
How'd that happen?
Well, there's three of them here.
am I reading this right then? I'm looking at the land use. So the nearest other B2 is, what would it be? Across Second. Actually, is it facing Third Street?
Right here.
Yes.
No. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there we go.
Here's the boys and girls. This is the subject site.
Okay,
This is the one I was questioning
okay.
because there is commercial and industrial. This is Waldinger's. Used to
Okay,
be Moreland's.
yeah.
And that's industrial. Or that's also B2.
Got it.
Is a privacy fence, would that be considered
Thank you.
conditional use? Or, I mean, would that be something we could add as conditional use, as a privacy?
Privacy fence, yep.
You know, screening.
Right, between the back of the Burlington properties and
Yep.
Okay, because I drove around today and like, to me, it feels like it should be residential. I mean, that's where I was coming in here thinking I would lean. And so I guess I'm like, Judy, they're gonna build it.
They can build a barn dominium right now, residential.
I mean, it is helpful to have it go to like a B2 as far as the city's ability to kind of, I guess, manage this, like.
So I'm not gonna say that they would do this at all, or that anybody, I'm not gonna accuse anybody of anything. But they could do a barn dominium, okay, have their living quarters. Then they could store all their equipment in that barn dominium portion of it. Then they could start running their business out of there. Now they're in a zoning violation. Zoning violations are extremely difficult to control. So, yeah,
And
to
enforce.
enforce.
Yeah.
I write them a letter, they ignore my letter, it ends up in the attorney's office, goes through the court system, takes a long time. If you rezone this to a commercial as a conditional use, you can put conditions on their ability to be there. Did I explain that well enough?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, that's just one of the things that's, I think, difficult with these types of requests too, is you're trying to guess as to what could happen in the future. So you're playing out the worst case scenarios. And, you know, one of the things that I think of that, you know, I'd encourage everybody else to consider, we had some folks that talked about concerns about traffic and that kind of thing. With a barn dominium type building, they could rent that out. That could create additional traffic that, I mean, you could have traffic from the vehicles or the equipment. You could have traffic from renters. So you can always try to play out these scenarios, and who knows for sure what might happen, but you know, that could be something to consider.
Also, more than likely, they're gonna use the alley more if it's a barn dominium than if they have front access to everything with the B2 zoning.
I feel like though, then this scenario could happen anywhere in the city,
It could.
which is a little, concerning. I mean, I don't want a commercial property popping up in it, if there's an empty lot next to me.
Yeah, but I'd also say look at what's around it, I guess.
I agree.
I mean, you're not talking smack dab in the middle of a giant residential area. You're looking at similar stuff.
And the
around
lots are
it.
big. Yeah.
Right.
That, and it's been vacant for several years, as well as the corner on Newberry and across the street from it, which I think transferred a while back with plans of multifamily, which did not follow through.
There were plans of multifamily on this site at one point.
Not this side across the street.
Oh, okay.
I think, I don't have facts on that, but
When I was driving around, I thought if this were on the west side of the youth center, I would probably think, yeah, that makes sense. 'Cause it's
Right.
right off Bicentennial.
but there is the boys and girls home sitting there, which is a large commercial structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I
It's not a
felt,
shop,
I
it's
felt the
not
corner,
Equipment coming in and out.
right,
The issues here to me are, what is the surface? I mean, when I think construction shop, I mean, we all got friends in that line of work. You're talking about equipment that generates dust and noise, right? Those are the detriments. And so how do you plan to control those? Or can you say the parking lot needs some sort of a surface besides dirt so that as you're pulling equipment in and out, it's not getting,
and that's it. They're gonna be storing equipment there, hauling it to a job site and bringing it back and
Right.
storing it in the garage.
right?
So it's not like a big manufacturing facility of that point or anything like that. So you just have a shop like Waldinger's right down the street. It's a big shop with a big gravel lot.
Yeah. This is a kind of a mishmash of things back through there, but what is clear is there's some nice homes along Burlington.
Right. As
And
well
that's a
as,
clear R3 area.
as well as East Second to the
Yeah.
west of this.
Yeah. Things are always fun, aren't they? There are 3 items here. We would need to take item number 7 up first.
Which one's selling?
The AM.
The AM 26.
To go from residential, medium density and multifamily to commercial.
That is correct.
AM 26003?
002.
Two.
Where did that one come from?
Might be the next one.
Because this will allow us to put some conditions on this.
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number AM 26-002, an amendment to the City of North Platte future land use map, amending certain land from residential medium density and multifamily to commercial on property located at 2200 East Second Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by Jet to recommend flipping the map. Any more discussion on this one? Go ahead, Michelle. Just want to make sure everybody had a chance to yak about it if they wanted to. And the motion is approved 4-3. So that brings us to item number 8. This is the rezoning.
Yep.
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number Z26-002 to rezone certain land from R3 dwelling district to B2 highway commercial district on property located at 2200 East Second Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Worrell, seconded by Bain to recommend approval to the city council. Any more discussion on this one? Not Michelle, please. And again, this is approved 4-3. Now, on the conditional use permit, I'm hearing conditions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I have any great ideas. I mean, you had mentioned the paving. You know, fencing was discussed. I love trees. I'll always add trees.
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily mandate paving, but there's ways to cut dust down. I mean, crushed surface, gravel, anything but just dirt. There would be ways to knock that down and help control it a little bit.
You're talking just a hard surface, just that they have
Yeah.
hard.
Some sort of a hardened surface, yeah. I mean, you could do that with crushed concrete. You could do that with asphalt millings. You could do it any number of ways. And so as you're pulling equipment off trailers, it's not kicking up dust all over the place in these folks' homes. As dry as it is right now, it's, yeah.
What's the limitation on height of a privacy fence? Is there?
35 feet above grade, maybe.
35 feet?
35 feet.
B2, in a B2, yeah, it's pretty high. Let me look.
I don't know that I would advocate for a 35 foot tall.
Let me look here. Hang on.
Wonder how that would handle today's wind.
Yeah, the wind would blow that way.
I've ever seen a 35-foot tall fence either. I see some large nets.
So are
off
you
of-
talking fence or are you talking structure?
I'm
How
talking.
tall is the
Fence.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking structure.
I was thinking
I was
8
like
feet.
30.
Yeah, I was thinking 8. Like,
I was thinking it said 8 feet.
I think it's 8. Sorry. The structure's 35 feet.
How tall is the new golf fence in Kearney?
A lot taller than 35.
Yeah.
But I'll bet I could still hit a golf ball over it.
You go for it. I was thinking that.
I'm way
I was
off track
thinking
here,
that
sorry.
too.
I've driven by that thing so many times thinking somebody's gonna wind up with a hole in their
Yep,
windshield
it's gonna
sooner or
happen.
later.
yep.
Either that or it's gonna go right through it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Somebody will hit a rocket off the toe.
Uh-huh.
I can hit that golf shot.
Am I not?
Any areas used for
Probably 8 or
loading
10
or unloading equipment?
Probably 8 or 10 feet. I think.
See, I'm thinking
I would-
fence
I would
in a
require privacy.
commercial is
Seems
6 feet. It's 8 feet in a,
Would be.
but I can't find the
And I would
fence.
say it needs to be stored inside. Otherwise, you're gonna.
Can you look, search fence in there? Because I'm thinking it's 6 feet in commercial, 8 in industrial screen fence, yeah.
So it would have been the same way with the other.
Just say the
Probably
maximum height.
would have been the same way with the other.
Outside.
I don't know.
I'd say,
Oh, look at that. See, the building, I was actually off is 75 feet above grade, but I didn't hear you say fence, so I'm looking for fence.
Like 6 stories. That'll block
I didn't
dust.
mean to stump the,
Sorry.
I didn't know what.
it's 6 or 8 feet.
Yeah, it's 6 or 8 feet.
I mean,
6
that's
feet
the
seems a little-
main bitch
That's a
about it.
normal, they say normal privacy
The
fence.
adjacent.
But
Yeah.
I wondered if you could require it to be
The adjacent.
high.
The maximum, I guess the way you could state it is
You could have. boys and
Maximum
girls.
allowed in the
Maximum
It's not a
height.
junkyard though. It's not like they have to keep it concealed or anything like that.
Like if I've got some kind of, those high lift type things, the lifts, and then they park them and put them clear up so people can't get on them. I
Right.
think that's the purpose.
You could say though, that, you could say, I'm sorry, sure,
Yeah, that's
we're
all
done. You could say the
Yeah.
fence is
I don't have
required
it in here,
on
that's why
the
I'm
part
not
of the
finding
property
it.
that's abutting a residential.
If
Yeah.
that's talking about industrial, then it is the 6 foot in commercial.
Yeah,
It is what?
generally it's the
6 foot.
6 foot for
6 foot.
screening.
Yeah.
For screening between like commercial, industrial,
I
and
can
then
look
like a
at
residential.
Residential
That's not very
barrier.
tall. I can look over that.
So, yeah, but you and I are anomalies.
You got better things to do than walk the alley.
Okay, I remember a conversation about a short meeting.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
No such thing.
Go ahead.
And I mean, there's a couple things you could do. You could require them to do a 6 foot screen fence. You could require them to plant trees.
I feel like there should be some sort of barrier between
The residential.
the residential and the commercial side. So I would propose on a conditional that there needs to be a privacy fence or some sort of, fence to the maximum height on any part of the property abutting, if I'm saying that right, a residential zone.
Okay.
That's my
Go for it.
recommendation. Along with I like the idea of the minimizing the dust. I mean, if we're gonna do it.
Is abutting, does that count for a street / alley is that considered?
Well, abutting a residential area would basically require them to put it along the south side of their lot.
Okay, that is, okay.
Well, that's public. Well, no, the south, yeah, you're right, the south side,
would
okay.
be the area
Yeah.
abutting the
Yes,
residential
you're right.
zone.
I was thinking, yeah.
They would essentially make it, if you're going with residential zone, it would essentially make it on all 3 sides.
That's
Because if
true.
you look at how it's
Technically
zoned,
speaking.
technically speaking, all 3 sides are zoned residential.
Or you,
I think that's fair.
you could say abutting existing housing.
Existing residential
Yeah.
uses.
There you go.
And if somebody decides to build a house,
There you
housing
go.
on the other side of that thing, it's gonna require them to go in there and put it
Yep.
on that side too.
Mhm.
So the way this would work then is there's a proposed motion there, and then the conditions you would add would be in part 1 and 2.
Yes.
And then you also have to read through the other conditions based on the following factual findings and do all that stuff. Emily, you writing a script?
Take it away, Emily.
Right here.
So can the conditional use requirements be separate from like 2 different approvals? Approve this, or are you gonna, or is it gonna, the conditional uses in this?
The conditions attached to
To-
if it were to be approved, the conditions attached to
Okay.
that approval,
It's not 2 separate.
not two separate.
No. And in order to do what they want to do, they'd have to meet all the conditions that we would set out, or
Okay.
that we would recommend. Council has the final say on all this stuff. So,
And any regulations in the B2 zoning district.
As well. We don't have to say that, though.
No.
no,
Well, let me, let me try. I move that we find the request for a conditional use permit to allow construction of a contractor's office with storage located at 2200 East Second Street meets the minimum standards stated in the North Platte Code of Ordinances, section 156.322, and approve and grant the conditional use permit requested with the condition that all elements of the application are complied with, including the following conditions: that any surface area on the lot used for vehicle or equipment storage on or loading and unloading shall have a hard surface, such as gravel or crushed concrete. And 2, that a 6-foot screening fence, or let's say a screening fence to the maximum height allowed by regulation shall be erected on any boundary which abuts current or future residential applications. Based upon the following factual finding, relations of any governmental jurisdiction. The use shall have adequate water, sewer, and drainage facilities. 3, ingress and egress shall be so designated as to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets. 4, the use shall in all other respects conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. 5, the use shall be in harmony with the character of the area and the most appropriate use of the land. Period.
In motion.
Yeah.
Mr. Attorney, can you make that work?
I think rather than the exact language of Glenn's motion, I think the general context is what is most appropriate for city council, because they can tweak it as they see fit, so. But yes, I think that works very well.
Okay, motion by Van Velsen. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm gonna go with Whirl. Any more discussion? Not, Michelle, please. And the motion passes 6-1.
Okay,
Okay.
all 3 of these will go on to city council on April 7th.
Okay. Item number 10 is another public hearing, file number CU 26-003, discuss